10 seconds.
All right,
remaining.
welcome everyone to what is going to be an interesting cast because we have 6.84 live. I managed to play one game under 6.84. Didn't go the best, but we came back. We came back and we won. So we're on a high right now. But we're of course I'm Niz. Welcome and thanks for joining me. I'm casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and we are in the losers bracket round 1, where we have Leviathan, which we saw play an incredible series last night against Not Today, and they're going to be going up against the defending runners-up from last Dota 2 Canada Cup. We'll wreck while whistling. Loser goes home. This is a best of one. Winner stays alive and goes to the next round of the losers bracket. But this is going to be an interesting one because, well, there's a lot of changes that came out in 6.84. I don't even know if I'm ready for it. I've read through the patch notes, I've studied them, but I'm sure I'm going to forget some things and miss some things, and I'll be probably tabbing over and Control F, searching through the patch notes to try and find changes. But it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. It's always good to see Dota get mixed up and changed up and become maybe just a little bit more refreshing, as we were getting maybe a little stale, although some of the games last night weren't, but maybe we were getting a little stale with the games running a little long, people just kind of sitting back and farming, afraid to push. Now we're kind of transitioning from that meta into a more gank oriented meta, or at least that's the initial interpretation, and that's kind of the standard cycle that Dota takes as it goes from farming to ganking to pushing back to farming.
Radiant team ban.
But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out this time around. Of course, we've got a new hero in the pool, and that is, well, the Winter Wyvern, who we see already getting banned out by Leviathan. Before I get into the draft, I'll just tell you a little bit about the tournament. Well, first off, if you want to find out more about it, go to dota2.ca. You can be able to find more information than I'm going to be able to tell you right here. But there is an in-game ticket, so go check that out. It's $8.99. And you get a Sven set for it, and you also 12.5% of that $9 goes towards increasing the prize pool, which is at $11,701 right now. Looking to reach that $12,000, so definitely go buy that ticket. Besides that, there is an official channel for the Dota 2 Canada Cup. It's twitch.tv/Dota2 Canada Cup. But you're more than welcome to stay here as well. But yeah, you know, go check that out. Mott, I believe, is casting tonight, so he's always good and fun to listen to. But let's get into this draft. As we have Axe and Winter Wyvern banned by Leviathan. They picked up Queen of Pain and Shadow Demon. There's a hero we've seen only a little bit of, but he got buffed a little bit, so we'll get into that in a second. As for Wheel, they banned out the Wisp and the Lina, and then picked up the Shadow Fiend and the Omni Knight. Not really that far out there. Leviathan then banned out the Bat Rider and the Medusa, and Wheel banned out the Anti-Mage. So let's talk a little bit about buffs and nerfs and all that. I mentioned the Shadow Demon. Well, Shadow Demon, his Shadow Poison, I believe the mana cost got reduced very slightly. I think it got reduced by 5. So that's going to allow him to, as a support, farm up in the jungle a little bit more effectively, but also be able to sustain his mana throughout going around and ganking, which is what this meta is all going to be about. Besides that, with the Egg Scepter upgrade to his ultimate, I believe it's with the Egg Scepter, to his ultimate, it provides break. So basically what that does is make sure that passives don't work. So if you're going up against a Phantom Assassin, for instance, and you were to purge her with the Shadow Demon ultimate, she would no longer be able to evade your attacks.
10 seconds remaining.
So that's going to be an interesting addition to Shadow Demon, as I think that gives him a lot higher value in the current hero pool. Wheel banned out the Centaur Warrunner, and well, with him, with his Egg Scepter upgrade for his ultimate, you can run like a madman, breaking down trees, running up cliffs, I believe, through fissures, all that stuff. And apparently,
Radiant team pick.
It even causes Cyborg Matt's video card to freak out and have him crash. He just tweeted about that a few minutes ago. But then they picked up the Leshrac. Lesh got a slight buff as well, and Leviathan picks up the Lion, which... Was he changed? I don't think so. I don't think he was changed at all. Let's take a quick look. Was he changed? No, it doesn't look like it. All right, no changes to Lion.
10 seconds
As for the Leshrac, I know his it was his lightning
5 seconds
that got changed. It just basically improved the cast point, and I believe the slow duration got increased at all levels. Okay, it's actually, it went from 0.75 to 0.7, 0.8, 0.91. So effectively higher at all ranks. Although Leshrac, you know, sometimes you would have just put that 1 point into his Lightning Storm. But now we're going to see Bane get picked up by Wheel. So they've got an interesting support duo there, if you want to believe that that's a support duo. It's a little hard to tell. With Omni Knight, Leshrac, and Bane, all three of them typically played as supports. I think in this situation, you're most likely going to have that Omni Knight being played as a core, but who knows? Maybe the Leshrac, maybe the Bane. I'm really unsure. I mean, if you're going to be playing the Omni Knight as a carry, typically, or as a core, you typically put him in the off lane. I don't think that's a hero that is going to fit IX Mike's playstyle at all. So I don't see that being a possibility. However, I don't see any of those heroes being an IX Mike kind of hero. Which makes me think, well, Omni Knight has been run in the mid lane in the past. So has Lesh, so has Bane. It could be any of those. So this will be interesting to see what they choose to run with. Obviously, there's some nice synergy between the Leshrac and the Bane. Bane getting the sleep, allowing Leshrac to land his stun. Is that enough to really get some kills as a support duo? I'm not sure. Ursa was the pickup for Leviathan. I know he got some changes, that's for sure. As, let's just quickly take a look at those. As it's so hard. Oh yeah, it was just the enrage change, which actually makes him quite a bit tankier. He can jump in and not get blown up immediately. It's going to be interesting. As I look at the chat. Yes, this is 6.84, Mr. Sizzo. It's going to be crazy. But Espresso Shot, you said you can turn off Nightmare whenever you want now on the Bane. That's actually not 100% true. You could always turn off Nightmare whenever you want. But I believe the change was that Nightmare End can change any instance of Nightmare. So basically, I think if you sleep someone and then one of your allies attacks them and gets sleeped, now you can clear that sleep. Or if Rubik steals your sleep, Nightmare, and then cast it on someone, you can still use your Nightmare End to cancel it. I think that's it. I don't think it was really that big of a change. But we've got, well, we've got that Ursa. That's going to be interesting. We've got Clockwork and Storm Spirit were the two bans. So Leviathan convinced that Wheel's still going to be looking for an offlaner, and while banning out the IX Mike Clockwork, as yeah, I think they have the same kind of ideas that I do, that none of these heroes are a hero that's going to be fit on IX Mike. As for Leviathan, I think they are looking for their mid. I think they're looking for the Shibby hero. That's why the Storm Spirit got banned out. Of course, we did see Shibby play some Queen of Pain, but we also know that Jenkins plays Queen of Pain in the offlane. But now Wheel, who are they going to pick for this offlane? Who's big in the offlane right now? I don't even know. I can't even speculate. This draft, or this patch has just turned everything completely upside down. It's going to make for some really good games of Dota. Notice Alchemist left completely untouched. I don't think that's a hero that we're going to see. I don't think that's a hero that we're going to see played too much at the very start of 6.84. I think that's something that you're really going to have to work into some strategies and figure out how to properly use the eggs. Well, the egg scepter, and being able to give it to allies, and how you're going to incorporate that into a team. I did mention I did play one game earlier in 6.84, and I actually did play Alchemist. And well, the start didn't go too well. I didn't really have much support. And I got ganked several times. Ended up having to start buying wards for myself, and whatever. We persevered, we came back, and we won the game. But we've got Venomancer as the final pick here for Wheel, and Leviathan goes for the tried, tested, and true Sniper. So it is going to be a Jenkins on the Queen of Pain in the offlane. And it's going to be the Shibby hero of Sniper. Sniper got a little bit of a nerf, but I go back to when I was watching Leviathan. Their entire team, they did a video talking their initial interpretation of reading the patch notes. And there's a Reddit thread linking all this stuff. But I'm sure you can find it if you go and look. But Leviathan, Team Leviathan was going through the patch notes, reading, and just saying what they thought immediately about the patch notes. And one of the things that they definitely said, I know Jenkins was really strong on this, saying that Sniper is still a hero. You know, he's nerfed. He was clearly over the top before, but he's still a very pickable hero, and we see them picking it up here.
5 seconds
What I find most
remaining.
interesting is the fact that Wheel picked up Venomancer as their last pick there, and that's going to be handled by IX Mike. I don't know, a little bit of weird stuff coming out here, but that's what happens with a new patch. As for our teams and our players, let's introduce them. On the Radiant side, we're going to have Wheel playing their Bane is going to be Derp Derp. IX Mike's going to be on the Venomancer. Relic is going to be on the Shadow Fiend. Unfortunately, we got a pause from Leviathan. So Relic's going to be on the Shadow Fiend. Sleazel is going to be on the Leshrac. And Goody is going to be on, if we can see him, there we go, on the Omni Knight. As for Team Leviathan on the Dire side, we got Flying Zebra playing the Shadow Demon. Nusham is going to be on the Lion. You can barely see him next to the racks there. Shibby's going to be taking control of the Sniper. Queen of Pain is going to be played by Jenkins. Almost forgot there for a second. And Shredder is going to be taking control of the Ursa Bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy was his nickname back in Dota 1. We have players already talking about one of the new items, the mangoes. We mangoes, boys. That'll be interesting to see. Actually, I'll leave the items up here. That'll be interesting to see if anyone chooses to incorporate any of those new items. Doesn't look like anyone has. One of the big changes, or at least something that I think could potentially be a big change, is the fact that Observer Wards, you can buy them individually now. They're not bought as a stack. And, well, we're actually seeing maybe a little bit of that. Never mind, Goody is actually going to buy a second Observer Ward. So both teams still starting with an Observer Ward each. I'm not sure who bought them, whether Jenkins actually bought one himself. No, it was Flying Zebra. He still pulled it. But Jenkins going with the Enchanted Mango, the new item. And let's just hover over that so everyone gets to know exactly what it does. But basically it gives you a passive 1 HP regeneration per second. And you can use it to consume the mango and instantly give either yourself or an allied hero 150 mana. But of course it is consumed. So everyone's kind of going crazy about the mangoes, and
30 seconds to
Ice Frog is, I guess, a little public as Ice Frog is, about his love for mangoes. So now we see the enchanted mangoes in the game. But we see IX Mike, looks like he's going to be laning in the bottom lane going up against Jenkins, and we got 2 Observer Wards coming out immediately, as looks like Leviathan's going to be trying to make sure that they secure this bottom room. IX Mike needs to be a little bit careful, but he just saw Shibby across the river there, so he's going to back away. He knows that Jenkins is already there as well, but he's going to back away.
First blood.
What?
First blood.
Oh my goodness, why? Shredder just walked into the other enemy team there? I guess he didn't anticipate Wheel being up there at all, but wow, I completely missed first blood. 6.84. I missed the first kill. I apologize. Well, I guess one thing hasn't changed with the patch. We'll get better. We'll get better. One thing I did want to point out is that there was a change to the magic wand recipe, and we see maybe a little bit of evidence of that with IX Mike's starting items. He picked up a circlet, and the magic wand recipe is now a magic stick, 2 GG branches or iron branches, and a circlet. So IX Mike the only one to actually pick up a circlet off the start. So maybe seeing a little remnants of that. But as for our lanes, looks like it's going to be the Veno in the bottom lane going up against the Queen of Pain. We've got in the mid lane Shadow Fiend going up against the Sniper. And in the top lane, it's Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane. It was at Leshrac, an Omni Knight, and all the way over here is the Bane going up against the Ursa, the Lion, and the Shadow Demon. Interesting aggressive Tri-Lane here coming out from Wheel. I want to remind everyone, I think I said it right at the beginning of the cast, but I don't think I said it since then, since we jumped into the game. But this is for the losers bracket, and this is a best of 1. Winner stays in the tournament, goes to the next round. Loser goes home. That's it. You're done. So a lot riding on this, and Wheel going with a very different strategy than we're used to seeing. And Leviathan, well, maybe staying a little closer to home. Shadow Demon, maybe the only... Shadow Demon and Ursa, maybe the only ones that are really out there. But we're going to see a sleep going out here on the Flying Zebra. That's going to allow Sleazel to land a stun, as Goody also gets the nuke down with the purification. That heal does so much damage. Of course, it's pure damage, so it's only 90 damage right now, but it'll get going. And 90 damage is actually quite significant. That's a lot closer to like 120 or so damage nuke, which is quite respectable. Take a look at the amount of damage that Earth Spike does. It's only 80 on the Lion, so 80 versus about 120. That purification does a lot of damage early on. Shibby gonna pick up double damage as the first rune. The bottom rune hasn't been picked up yet. I thought maybe IX Mike was gonna rotate for that, but doesn't look like it. As we'll find themselves ahead already in this game, ahead 2-0. Of course, they got that kill on Shredder at the top rune, and well, that's not the way that Leviathan wanted to start this game. Shibby taking quite a bit of damage there. And I want to see the impact of the changes to Shrapnel, as everyone really thought that was a little crazy how much he was able to spam out the Shrapnel, how it was giving him that vision, how he was just able to harass and chase so well. And maybe we're seeing a little bit of that as, well, he's got his charges and trying to force back Relic there. And I think in the old patch, he probably would have gotten an extra attack there just because he had to wait for the vision to come out from the Shrapnel. One of the changes that has happened. Jenkins forcing IX Mike to TP away. He heads back to the fountain. And now Jenkins is going to, well, he's going to keep looking because I guess he didn't see IX Mike TPing away there. But now Jenkins, get back in the lane, start farming. You've got all this open space.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Still have an observer ward being held by Flying Zebra. And actually this is this is one of their first 2 observer wards, so a little surprised that they're still holding on to that. You would have figured maybe you could have saved that 75 gold, but we're going to have another sleep on the Flying Zebra. Sleazel now lands the stun. We won't have a purification coming out. A Shadow Demon's going to bandage himself. Purification's going to come out, but it's mistimed a little bit, but they're still going to get the kill. Goody's going to get the last hit there, and it looks like Nusham's going to go down as well, as the 2 supports that were up here in the lane by themselves go down. But now we're going to have a TP from Jenkins. Will he be able to clean up here? He's going to get slept. Will he be able to catch up? He's not going to have blink for another 5 seconds, but he's still going to chase. Goody looks like he could be in trouble. And he doesn't have mana to heal, repel up in 2 seconds, but Jenkins is going to back away. So this double support lane in the top, not really going too well for Leviathan. Shredder having to rotate out of that and go farm up in the jungle. And I think, you know what, they were going to lose the lane to begin with. It's probably better off just moving Shredder to the jungle. Shibby taking quite a bit of damage there as Relic jumps up on him. Didn't have his long raise off cooldown just yet, so he wasn't able to secure that kill. But now Shibby on pretty low HP is going to have to play quite safe. But his courier's flying in, but it doesn't have a bottle on it. It's just a healing salve for him. Yeah, he's gone 2 Wraith Bands, so he actually didn't pick up a bottle early on in this game. I didn't even clue into that, but that's maybe a little bit surprising, especially going up against Shadow Fiend here. But we are going to see a rotation from Flying Zebra, trying to come into the mid lane, trying to get a gank, maybe buy a little bit of space for Shibby. But Derp's also made the rotation, except he was smoke, and now that smoke's going to get popped. But Derp will get the sleep off onto Flying Zebra. But we won't see any further aggression as a result of that. Looks like Jenkins has just stayed up here in the top lane, and he's laning against Sleazel, and now Derp's going to come up and join him. Goody hanging out in the back as well. So for the bottom lane, looks like Nusham is rotated down here to go up against IX Mike, and IX Mike sitting at 19 and 2 CS, whereas Jenkins was at 22 and 9. Obviously, they switched lanes a little while ago, but Jenkins was winning that lane pretty hard. As for the mid lane, Shadow Fiend way out in front, 36 and 15 versus the 21 and 3 for Shibby on the sniper. As for the tri-lane versus tri-lane, obviously Shredder rotated out of that. He's at 26 and 0. Sleazel's gone up to 20 and 7.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So in the end, you know, this aggressive tri-lane still kind of ending up ahead, but I think maybe they need to punish a little bit harder. But with Jenkins up here, it might be too difficult for them, and I'm kind of a little surprised at how how they chose to move Jenkins up there in the top lane. As I don't know, I feel like he was dominating so hard in the bottom lane, and now with the Venomancer able to constantly put pressure on this tier 1 tower, I'm not sure if a Lion's going to be able to deal with it. Speaking of the Venomancer, what kind of skill build has he gone? He's neglected going after the Venomous Gale, put 2 points in the Poison Sting, and it looks like he's maxing his Plague Wards. He did choose to pick up his ultimate at 6, and that's because he was able to get his Arcane Boots up so quickly. Typically, you want to line up your Poison Nova skill up with when you're going to be getting your Arcane Boots, as otherwise you don't really have enough mana to be using everything in your arsenal. But once again, Derp is smoked up, trying to go to the mid lane, but he's going to get spotted out once again by Flying Zebra. Flying Zebra's going to get the banish there, and we're going to have a TP in from Nusham, and nice counter gank here coming out from Leviathan as they spotted out Derp and TP'd on in and got the kill. That's their first kill of the game, so it's now 4-1 as Leviathan looks to reel back on into this game. Jenkins sitting at 7, almost hitting 8. Interesting to see what he's going to be able to do with ganking. Some pings coming out there. I'm not really sure what Sleazel was pinging so much about. Maybe saying that we can go on Jenkins here. We can go on Jenkins. Or maybe just thought he spotted something. I'm not sure. But, oh, we just lost. We just lost the Venomancer in the bottom lane. As Nusham was able to get the kill there. Mike obviously got the kill as a result of his poisons ticking through, but that's a little... Oh, okay. I was gonna say Nusham did hit 6. That makes sense. I didn't think he was 6 yet. I was like, how did he get a kill on a Venomancer without finger? But of course he had finger, so that all makes more sense. Relic did just get sent back to Fountain by Shibby, and now we're going to see a little bit of push coming out here from Wheel in the top lane. Flying Zebra throwing out those Shadow Poisons. He's gone with a 1-1-1 build.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
What has Sleazel done? Interesting, he hasn't put any points into Diabolic Edict. That's good at pushing, but not that good in a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario. Nusham drawing that he's going to be running down here, and he says, I can cut off Mike here. We got him. As Jenkins was already in pursuit, and looks like this is going to be another kill for Leviathan. It's their 3rd of the game. Twice on Mike. And maybe it's just my initial perception of what's going on in the game so far, but it looks like teams are still a little unsure of how to move around the map and what to be doing at this stage. Not that, you know, they're playing wrong, but it just doesn't feel right yet. And maybe that's just the new patch. Maybe it's just something that we've got to grow accustomed to, or maybe it's just because they're still feeling it out. As Jenkins going to get a wrap around here onto Mike. He's going to lead with the Shadow Strike. Poison Nova still on cooldown for 15, so that's not going to be available to him. We're going to have 2 TPs coming in from the supports of Wheel. One of them's Goody as he just gets the Purification off, and nice repel countering Jenkins as he blinks on in. But he's going to be able to finish him with the Sonic Wave, but he's not going to be able to get on out of there. Shibby now rotated down, but he's going to be greeted by a Veno Ward. Now Sleazel has rotated to the mid lane. Looks like he's going to be getting his push on there as Relic moves into the Dire side jungle as he spotted out a stack that Shredder was about to be farming up. But I guess they saw the rotation from Relic despite the fact that he was in Biz. Either way, Relic's going to take that stack now as Leviathan has gathered as 4 to defend this mid tier 1, but maybe some of them are just starting to rotate away. Shredder's going to go for the Ancients. Ping's coming out on Roshan as... There we go. Maybe that's something that Leviathan's going to be looking to do. Of course, with the Ursa on their side, they should be able to drop Roche very, very quickly. And notice the different icon there coming up for Flying Zebra as you shift between the two when you the Observer Wards and the Sentries consume one slot in your inventory now, so it's going to be a little bit of getting used to. As we can see that there's one Observer Ward and 2 sentries there. We toggle between the two of them, as we're going to see an engage here with the disruption onto Derp once again. It's going to be the 5th kill of the game for Leviathan, as he's going to go down. Shredder's going to get the kill. IX Mike was coming in with Relic and Goody. Will we see an engage here? It doesn't look like it. Looks like Wheels is going to back up and stand behind their tower and protect it, as Leviathan realizes that, you know, they've already rotated some heroes here. There's no way we're going to push this tier 1 tower, and they started to rotate away. Jenkins moving towards the mid lane. Shredder just popped the smoke, and how did they spot that? It got pinged out. How did they spot that? I guess just they had vision with their Observer Ward and spotted the smoke go off. But either way, they pinged out. They know that Shredder has smoked up and he's in the Roche Pit. And look at how low his HP is. He will pop that Fury Swipes and or overpower, sorry, and get right back up in HP. But here we go. Wheels going in. They're committing us 5 into this fight. And they're there just in time to kill Shredder, take Roche, and they're going to give the Aegis to Sleazel on the Leshrac. I have no idea how they spotted that. Why they were even looking up there to see the smoke go off there. But either way, it went off. And the interesting thing was that the ping went off right around here. Weird. Which was pretty much right where Shredder was. I don't know. Good eyes from Derp. He was the one who pinged it out. And now Sleazel and Relic will look to push down this tier 1 tower. Jenkins going to do what he can to pull the creep wave away. But this is where not having Diabolic Edict kind of hurts them. I think if they had Diabolic Edict, they would have been able to drop this tier 1 tower very, very easily. But either way, they forced out a glyph. But they're pushing at the bottom lane at the same time. So that glyph is actually hurting both of their pushes. But it looks like one of these towers is... I was going to say is going to go down, but I don't think that they're going to be able to stick around here and push this bottom tier 1. They have backed off in the mid lane. Sleazel's taken quite a bit of a beating, and I think he actually just lived by that delivering the items for him. But he had the Aegis anyways, but of course Leviathan would have loved to drop that Aegis. Looks like Wheel's going to be committing to the bottom tier 1 tower. They got 4 heroes down here. Leviathan just has Flying Zebra. She's going to be throwing a Shadow Poison, trying to clear out that creep wave or at least pull it away from the tower. Tower is going to go down in just a second though. Who's going to get that? It's going to be IX Mike on the Venomancer. But Leviathan now looking to push the top tier 1. But we're going to have some TPs coming in from Wheel as Leviathan's just going to back away. Sleazel's going to farm up the creep wave. As we're going to have a pause. This will give us time to quickly cycle through. Well, first let's switch to the net worth. As we can see, top 3 all on the side of Wheel. Then it's pretty much everyone on Leviathan, with the exception of Flying Zebra as he's rounding out the rear end there. But yeah, the top 3 all Wheel. I don't think it's fair to even really consider the Venomancer as being that much ahead of everyone. He's pretty much locked even with the sniper and not that far ahead of the Queen of Pain, so that's all close. But when you take a look at the Shadow Fiend, 7,000 net worth. The Leshrac, 5,900. They're significantly ahead of everyone else in this game. Looks like we might have a wraparound here from Shredder, but he thinks better of it. He's going to come back the other side as Nusham gets a stun off on Sleazel. I think Sleazel just spotted Shredder there, but while that was going on, Jenkins did go down in the bottom lane. So now Nusham's going to get stunned up, and he's going to try to run away, but the Pulse Nova is so strong. I believe that's what it's called. Indeed it is. Because they're going to be able to drop Nusham. 10-5 now, the kill total. So the push continues in the bottom lane, but also in the mid lane as Relic is going to get right-clicked down by Shibby here as he throws off the Requiem. He's going to try and drop Shibby. This is a man fight. And Shibby, oh, he gets the kill, but he does go down. The Requiem hits him. That actually is a little bit unfortunate. And one of the things that I really wish they would change back to Dota 1 is he was clearly in between the rays from the Requiem, which means he shouldn't have taken any damage if this was Dota 1. It doesn't work like that in Dota 2, although it probably should. Just one of those things that Valve eventually will get around to fixing. But Shibby falling a little bit victim to that. As this mid tier 1 tower is so low, the pings will come out now. Relic says, go kill this damn thing.
Dire's middle tower is under
And they will.
attack.
2
Dire's
auto
middle
attacks is all it
tower
needed.
has fallen.
So what are these heroes doing from Leviathan? 3 of them are smoked up right now. Who's going to lead the way? It looks like it's going to be NizCast. Typically, you've got a Shadow Demon who's going to
Dire's
initiate
bottom
with the
tower is
Disruption,
under attack.
follow it up with the Soul Catcher. And Jenkins going to position himself really well for that Sonic Wave, and they're going to clean up Ike's Mike and Derp Derp very quickly there. Now Sleazel working his way in as well. What is he going to look to do? He just lost 2 heroes up here. He's just going to walk in all manly like. He does have the Aegis, but still, he's all alone right now. Either way, let's take a quick look at our items and see where we stand. See if anything new's come out. Derp Derp has a Soul Ring. IX Mike has picked up a mech as well as the Arcane Boots. Keep in mind those build into the new Arcane Greaves. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. We'll see if he completes them so we actually know what it is called. We've got... what's going on here? Relic, he's got, looks like he's building that new item as well, the Sange, and he's got a Shadow Amulet. Once you get the Shadow Blade, that builds into, with the 325 recipe, I believe, the Edge or whatever it's called. But we've got a fight in the bottom as Jenkins is going to go down. Sleazel is just manning up here. He still has the Aegis. That's got to be expiring soon. As well, it's going to expire right now as he's just going to take a fall. But now with Derp Derp and Goody behind him, Leviathan will back away. Relic even rotating in here to join up with his teammates as they look to push the tier 2 tower. Shadow Poison flies in, pulls the creep wave back off the tower. And that means we'll just the 4 heroes and the siege creep on the tower, but they're going to use their glyph. And Leviathan has to do something here if they want to look to keep this tower alive. Doesn't look like they're actually going to engage. They will try to get the deny, but Relic is there with the last hit. As question, oh, he can't buy the new item. Let's actually take a look exactly what that is. It won't let him buy this recipe. 1650. Oh, Jenkins says that's why he restarted. He couldn't buy the mangoes. Weird. I mean, I bought the new item, the Edge thing. Well, he still hasn't bought it. Oh well, hopefully he'll be able to buy it, and hopefully he's not handicapped by that. But either way, let's keep moving through our heroes. We saw the Shadow Blade completed on Relic, as he's going to pick up the Silver Edge. 350, I was close. Said 325. A Silver Edge will be coming out on him. Sleazel. We saw him lose the Aegis there, but he's up to 9 charges on his Bloodstone. He's also picked up a point booster, so expect that to be an Egg Scepter. Goody has gone with the Hand of Midas, and now he's got a Staff of Wizardry. Is that a Yule Scepter, or is it Force Staff? Yule Scepter now costs 100 more mana to cast the Yules. So it got quite a big nerf there, and I don't really know if Omni Knight has the mana pool to be able to sustain that. That's going to be really rough in a team fight. I mean, Guardian Angel, 125. It's going to be 175 in a second. Top of that, Repel at 50. Purification at 160. You're not going to have enough mana to do all these things if you pick up a Yule Scepter. As IX Mike's going to disconnect and reconnect one more time, as he's still been unable to upgrade those items, despite having enough gold to buy it. Flying Zebra just has his Arcane Boots and his double wards. Keep in mind there, we've got 2 Observer wards and 2 Sentry wards. It's going to be a little bit getting used to with that. As for NizCast, he's managed to pick up a Blink Dagger on the line to go with his Tranquil Boots. Shredder's got a Blink of his own and a Morbid Mask. He's kind of... honestly, I'm a little surprised that he doesn't have more items. Maybe he's got something flying in the courier? No. Shredder's just been really handicapped this game. That aggressive tri-lane really held him down there. But either way, what do we got on Shibby? Shibby has just picked up a Maelstrom. He's going to work towards a Mjolnir, maybe? Because he's also got a Mask of Madness. And he went with that double Wraithband phase boot opening, not choosing to go with a bottle. And last but not least, we got Jenkins, who looks like he's going for a mech. And he's already got the Arcane Boot, so he's going to be grabbing that new item as well. That IX Mike looks like he still isn't able to purchase. Because yeah, now it looks like he's given up on it. He's just bought an Ogre Cloak. Be interesting to see if Jenkins, who had the same issue trying to buy the mangoes, if he's able to complete that recipe or not. He was able to fix it with restarting his game. And now we see Wheel
top tower is under attack.
Posting up on this tower here. Observer Ward gets placed there. Not sure if Leviathan saw that get placed down. But now we're going to have an Assassinate fly and drop Derp's HP quite low, forcing out the Purification. Relic has rotated around from behind with that silver edge. Oh my goodness. Just drops Nusham so damn quickly. This tier 2 is going to be dropping just as quickly as the Leshrac has been bringing it down. There's those points in Diabolic Edict showing their effectiveness. And there we go, tier 2 is going to go down. But the top tier 1 just went down as Jenkins and Shredder were on that. They weren't back defending. Now we're going to get a TP back from Relic to stop any further push from Shredder. Jenkins just finished the mech. So he's sitting on 500. I believe it's 1600. Yes, 1650. Okay, that's the gold total we have to look for once he hits around there. Or, well, probably 1850 is going to be the latest he would probably buy it. So hopefully he doesn't have any issues with that. Or you know what? Maybe he should have issues with it because IX Mike can't complete his. It's kind of sad to say that, but either way, let's take a look at our gold graph and see where we stand in this game as Wheel in a commanding lead right now at 10,000 gold. A lot of that gold is actually in towers, as we only have one outer tower left standing for Leviathan right now, whereas Wheel has 1, 2, 3, and 4 outside towers, and that's a lot of gold going the way of Leviathan when they're able to claim those. But as it stands right now, that's about a 10k deficit. Certainly, those towers aren't going to make up for that 10k. But obviously, a little bit of that's inflated, but dropping those towers give you map control. That map control allows you to farm more of the map safer. It means Leviathan isn't able to farm as much of the map because they're not feeling safe. And that's just going to further help Wheel get further and further ahead in this game. As just a reminder, this is a best of 1. Loser is eliminated from the tournament. And Wheel is, I mean, they finished second last season. So they're looking to rebound from getting knocked down to the loser's bracket. As we're going to see the last outer tower go down for Leviathan. As Relic once again gets another tower last hit, as he's up to another 3,700 gold.
Middle tower is under attack.
And we really just haven't seen the effectiveness of this Ursa just yet. Leviathan obviously sees a lot of strength in this hero. A lot of strength in the strategy right now, but just having been able to get it to work. And maybe the unorthodox draft coming out from Wheel has kind of thrown them for a loop. As now, Wheel's going to move into Roche Pit. Try to bring down Roche. Keep in mind, last time Roche went down, it was a really well-timed, well-spotted smoke from Shredder right there without any vision. And it was pinged out, and they immediately ran into Roche, caught Shredder right when he was about to kill Roche, killed Shredder, killed Roche, had that Aegis go on top of Sleazel. But I'm not sure if you noticed, Jenkins was just able to complete that new item. As Roche goes down, Sleazel will get the Aegis one more time. Relic's gonna run forward, trying to find it. Did anyone else? I don't see it. Either way, looking for a kill. Mott may be having some issues too. I didn't see it. Oh well. Either way, let's take a quick look at what this new item does. It's Guardian Greaves. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff. But basically, you can activate it to mend, which restores 250 HP and 160 mana to nearby allies and removes most negative buffs from the caster. So that'll only remove them from Jenkins. It'll only remove the negative buffs from him. And there's a passive aspect to it, and it provides nearby allies with 4 health regen and 4 bonus armor, similar to what Mech does, but just better. And if an ally hero's health falls below 20%, they receive 15 health regen and 15 armor. So that's quite significant. This is going to be probably a staple item that we're going to see get picked up every single game by both teams, as it's really good. Really, really good. And you know what, with how much ganking's been going on, it's going to be very valuable having that mech to keep people alive from TPing in to try and save them, or just rotating there in time to try and save a teammate that's getting picked off. The mech is going to have a lot of value, as well as the arcane boots are going to have a lot of value, because there's going to be a lot of moving around, a lot of casting of abilities, which means people need mana. So those arcane boots are going to be very effective as well. And then when you combine the two, you get an item that's even better. The only downside is, well, sometimes I guess you'd want to use your arcane boots but not use your mech. And with them combined in the item, you have to use them essentially at the same time. But I still will think it'll be a very valuable item, and expect to see it a lot more in this patch. We had Shibby pick up a Hyperstone, so he's almost finished his Mjolnir, but we got a bigger pickup from the Shadow Fiend. Relic has picked up a Scotty. It's going to be flying in from the courier right now. What does Goody have? He did go with that Force Staff, so not going with the Yules. So definitely going with the better choice there, I think. Plate Mail he also picked up. We've got an Egg Scepter also completed by IX Mike. What does Derp Derp have? He's got a BKB. Has he used it yet? Nope. 10-second charges. Ooh, Flying Zebra rotating out here. As well, they will spot out Relic, and they're going to engage on him. They've got the Purge, Demonic Purge, I think it's called, on him. But now, Sleazel's actually going to jump forward, trying to get on Flying Zebras. He's going to try to run away. Nusham just went down. And we're going to lose Flying Zebra as well. So both supports gone on the side of Leviathan. Jenkins saying, well, we just lost our supports. Probably not going to be able to defend here. So I'm just going to trade, try and take down this tier 2 tower while they're taking their time trying to push our high ground. See how much damage he's able to get in on this tier 2 is Shredder. What is he doing? So he's running down the mid lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like he's just going to do the same. He doesn't have a TP though, so
Radiant's top tower
it's a little bit different when he's doing it. As, Jenkins does have a TP, so he can come back. Maybe the courier's flying one in. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. But the tier 3 is going to go down. How's the tier 2? It's about to fall as well. Expect Jenkins to TP back as soon as that falls.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
But looks like he may lose a Rax here, as Jenkins still actually hasn't TP'd back. Because now he's going to TP, or no, that's Shredder actually TPing. As, oh, Derp Derp's going to get the Fiend's Grip onto Nusham, but nice disruption there coming up from Flying Zebra, canceling that. Sleazel has used the Aegis, and now Shredder jumping forward. He's going a ham on them. He's running at them with the bear, but unfortunately, Wheel just turns around and cleans up. They drop 4 heroes in a matter of seconds there. And now they're looking to make it 5 as Flying Zebra desperately trying to run for his life. Trying to do a little jukes, but not going to happen. Goody's actually going to get the kill with the Purification. We're going to have a buyback come out from Jenkins and Shredder, and even Shibby, as Leviathan realizing that if they lost a set of racks, they would not be in a good spot. And oh no, is this a dieback from Jenkins? No, he's going to get enough away. Now Shibby will get stunned up. It's a dieback for him. Jenkins manages to get the kill onto Goody. He's going to try to run away. Shredder, oh no, he's in the middle of all of them. Looks like he's going to go down as well. Yep. Just Jenkins left alive. We do have both supports respawning. Nusham's up right now. We're going to have Flying Zebra now, as he's just respawned on the Shadow Demon. Now Sleazel blinking forward. The core Leshrac, so valuable. This is kind of a build of old, playing Leshrac like this, but good to see it come back, as it's definitely worked well here for Wheel and Sleazel, doing a terrific job with it. And we're going to see the second set of racks going down as the mid lane falls. As Leviathan definitely on the ropes here. Wheel is Well, they've come out swinging. And Leviathan just hasn't been able to deal with it. We're going to have a pause one more time as Goody disconnects from the game. The auto pause came out. I think that's supposed to say recipe. IX Mike is like notorious for his typos, which is hilarious because he does a lot of coding. But let's take a look at the net worth and see how far ahead Wheel is. And oh my. That's a big lead. 23,000 gold lead. Gold earned's going to be slightly less because of those buybacks, but that's a big net worth discrepancy. XP, who really cares about XP, but it's up around 12,000. Who's got all the kills? Well, we've got 9 on Relic. Participation's got to go to Sleazel, though, as he's been a part of 14 of the 23 kills. Which actually goes to show you, if he's the highest on the team, 14 of 23, that means those kills are getting spread out quite well around the team. They're getting pickoffs all over the place. So good for them. As for Leviathan, really no one with too impressive of a record. You know, the best is Jenkins, and he had, I mean, he was doing well in the bottom lane in that 1v1 against IX Mike, and then they rotated him up to the top lane up against that tri lane, which kind of set him back a little bit. But from there, he's been doing pretty good, getting some pickoffs. He's been doing all right. I have to say, the biggest thing holding Leviathan back has been the Ursa. And I just haven't seen the value in that Ursa pick. Obviously, they were completely thrown off guard by what Wheel was drafting, but there's got to be a better way to get your Ursa back in the game going up against a tri-lane like that. And we're going to see another new item come out. This time it's from Goodies. He's going to pick up the Lotus Orb. And let's find out what this thing does, as this is the one that reflects stuff. So active, Echo Shell, applies a shield to the target unit, which recasts most targeted spells back to their caster. The shielded unit will still take damage from the spell, dispels negative buffs when applied. Huh. So basically, what can he reflect? Let's take a look. Shadow Demon, obviously he can reflect Disruption with that. He can reflect Demonic Purge. Lion, well, everything of his can get reflected. The Earthspike can get reflected if it's hero target. I think if you ground target, it should not reflect. As we're going to have a smoke from here. As for Sniper, the other thing that he has that will be reflected is an Assassinate. The Queen of Pain, Shadow Strike will be reflected. Nothing else will. And Ursa, nothing that he has will be reflected. But we do have a 5-man gank here from Leviathan. Looks like they're not going to find anything, as we got another new item as well on Sleazel, as he's picked up the Octarine Core. And, well, Leviathan's going to make their way up here. We're going to have to do this quick, as we're... Well, actually, we might not be able to do it. But basically what it does is it reduces the cooldowns of your abilities and also gives you lifesteal on your magic. Magic damage. At 25% against heroes. I believe it's 5% against creeps. 25% is cooldown reduction. So, which is pretty good. Look at 6.75 seconds Split Earth, 3 seconds Lightning Storm, Split Earth. There we go. I said it almost like Luminous. But Diabolic Edict, 16.5 seconds. Here we go. Sleazel jumping up towards Leviathan, forcing them back, while Relic and his team take down the tier 3 towers. It's going to fall now. They've already dropped Flying Zebra, and now Leviathan just has no way to get to these racks. As, yeah, what is going on, says Jenkins. Well, unfortunately, your team is losing. As Sleazel jumping forward. And there we go. Good game. Well played. We'll get called by Leviathan as they take their exit from the tournament. And you know what? They played a hell of a match against No Tidehunter last night. And frankly, I'm still a little shocked that they lost that game 3. It was... I mean, it looked like it was so theirs, but... Well, that was a whole patch ago. I know it was just last night, but still, Leviathan, they were so close to actually advancing out of the quarterfinals into the winners bracket semifinals, but instead they lost that. They dropped down to the losers bracket. They went up against Wheel, that I believe got knocked down there because they played against the North American Rejects. Wheel finishing first in their group. Got matched up against the North American Rejects, which finished second in their group because of those DDoS issues and all that stuff. So it gave them a little bit of a difficult matchup, but then they dropped down to losers bracket, where they matched up against Leviathan, and they kind of ran all over Leviathan in that match, as they flexed their new 6.84 muscles, and Leviathan wasn't able to handle it. So we say goodbye to Leviathan, and we'll advance to the next round. We do have some more matches coming up tonight. It's not from either of these teams, as it's going to be our final quarterfinal for the winners bracket, and that is going to be between Top 5 and Boreal Esports. That's not going to be starting until I believe it's 10:15. I should know this. I should have this written down, but I'll make sure. I'm pretty sure it's 10:15, but I'll make 100% sure. Yes, it's 10:15 tonight. Those matches will start. I'm actually going to bring the stream down. I'm not going to let it go for an hour and 15 minutes just playing music. So definitely you guys tune back in and check that out. But yeah, that should be a good match, and certainly it's good to find out which of our last quarterfinalists will or quarterfinal teams will advance, and they'll be playing up against eHug in our match following that tomorrow. But that's going to wrap it up for the loser of that plays eHug, my mistake. That's going to do it for this game. Once again, I'm Niz. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that cast, and hopefully you're going to come back at 10:15 to see some more 6.84, as I'm sure those teams are going to bring something very different than what Wheel and Leviathan brought here. So yeah, it should be exciting. Once again, make sure you hit all those follow buttons on twitch.tv/NizCast, at NizCast on Twitter, and youtube.com/NizCast for the VODs. That's going to be it. For now, I'll be back in about an hour and 15. Hopefully you guys will too.